Okay, so a guide to online dating in the Philippines. Basically, a lot of people get on the online dating sites from America or their home country, and I believe that's a mistake if you don't have a plane ticket already or you aren't about 2 weeks from your departure date. Just isn't really necessary. You're going to get caught up in a lot of, emotional attachment and wanting to do things for them and finding out about their hardships once they, profess their love for you and you start falling for them. So give yourself about a 10 to 14 day rollout time. Outside of that, don't bother. Wait till you get your boots on the ground. If you want to get, a 2 week head start and have a few dates lined up, no problem, but you definitely don't want to get yourself caught up in, an emotional attachment, money sending, I love yous and stuff like that when you're not even in the Philippines. You might not have a passport, you might not have a plane ticket, you might not have the money to even come here. So don't make that mistake. Then once you get here, if you got some girls lined up, never ever have them come directly to your home. Go ahead and meet them at a Starbucks. It's not a commitment of a long period of time. You can have a cup of coffee and be out if you're not attracted or they don't look like their picture, or God forbid they're a ladyboy or something. If you do like them, you can act accordingly. You can go to a restaurant, you can go back to your place, you can go to a bar, you can walk around. Places like BGC or IT Park in Cebu are ideal for meeting girls. They want to go to those areas. They're very safe, comfortable places. I repeat, never have them come directly to your home. A lot of times they'll be willing to do that. You don't really know who they are. You don't know what their intentions are for you. So be safe in that aspect. Don't get on too many sites. There's so many sites. I recommend Pina Love and Tinder are two of my favorites. Pina Love or Tinder. Obviously everyone knows Tinder. You can do Tinder Pro and pay $1.99 and say you're in the Philippines to kind of make that work if you're, a week or two away from coming. But just don't get ahead of yourself. So once you're here, if you do like 7 sites, like you do like Christian Filipina, Tinder, Pina Love, Filipino Cupid, Bumble, Badoo, and all that, here's the problem, and you'll never experience this problem in the US, but here's the problem you're gonna have in the Philippines. You're gonna get too many matches, and you're not gonna know what to do with them. There's just simply too many people, and you'll wake up every day with 75 matches on each site, and you gotta figure out who's actually a female, who's not a transgender, who's close enough to you, who's married, who has children, who's got to take 7 buses to come see you, who's attractive enough for you, who's in the age group that you like. It's going to be all over the board. It's literally like a full-time job. So that's just too much work for most of us, and we want to keep it simple. So pick a site or two. There's Facebook dating. There's a million different ways. It's definitely easy mode, and it's what most guys do. 90% of guys meet their girl online. But at the end of the day, you really got to limit the amount of sites that you do, because when I was single and I did that, it was like a full-time job. You literally spend 8 hours a day sifting through 300 messages a day, trying to figure out who makes the cut. And yes, it's who makes the cut out here. You are the prize, and women are literally interviewing for the job of your girlfriend. In America, obviously, you're interviewing for the job of a woman's boyfriend or a hookup. In America, it's just a complete flip, abundance mindset, not scarcity mindset. That's the bottom line here. So then once you meet a girl and you start, you say you bring her back to your place, you like her, she passes the Starbucks test. Starbucks is good because I always pay, but it's a couple hundred pesos rather than having to sit through a 2-hour meal with a woman, or her ordering the most expensive thing on the menu, or getting drunk, or she's, a lot of these girls will be way shorter than you thought. A lot of these girls use filters. You can always do a video call. That's obviously advisable, but regardless, the vibe in person is sometimes different than the vibe on a video call or on the messages on the site or whatever. So keep that in mind. Then once you've brought a Filipina to your place, the thing that will differ from American women is American women will come over to your place. A lot of times American women are actually just looking for a hookup in 2023 or even in the last 5 years or so. Filipinas date to marry generally. They're not usually looking for a hookup. Obviously, there's exceptions to every rule. But something that I noticed when I was single, obviously because I live in like nice places or nice buildings or whatever, is when you have a woman come over and spend the night with you, she will literally not excuse herself. A lot of times they don't have a job, or they can take a day off, or it's their day off or whatever, and they will literally not excuse themselves. They will literally be, a lot of these girls, if they date foreigners, they're very proud to have an affam. And it doesn't really matter if you're a little heavy or you're, you know, in your 40s or 50s or whatever. These girls, there's groups of friends that all date foreigners, and they are extremely proud to say, hey, I met an American. I'm going to start dating an American. He lives at such and such building in Makati or BGC or Cebu or whatever. And they'll wear it like a badge of honor. So they won't necessarily excuse themselves even for multiple days. And even if you like a girl, you may have to get work done. You may not be ready to commit. You may not be ready to move her in on the first day. There isn't a ton of dating in the Philippines. It's usually 0 to 100 real quick. Almost every girl I've ever met never like dismissed me or said, hey, you're too old or you're not handsome enough or whatever. I qualified for 100% of the women that I met, and the ones that I brought back to my place weren't really excusing themselves at 6 a.m. and stuff like that. They were more or less attempting to stick around until I said, hey, I got a big meeting in the morning, or I gotta go to Cebu, or I gotta go somewhere else, or let's get you a grab home or whatever. They won't necessarily dismiss themselves. Obviously, you're a prize because of the money advantage and whatever other reason. They may be genuinely attracted to you, and they will not excuse themselves like an American woman will. When you do bring a woman to your place, you need to be careful. You don't know this woman, you don't know her intentions for you. And a lot of times what I've done in places like Boracay and stuff like that is, rather than bring them to my permanent place that I paid a year up front for, I would get a hotel for $20. So then, if she turned out to be crazy or have a bad temper or psycho or wanted to rob me or something, she wouldn't have the opportunity really. Obviously 99% of Filipinas are great, but you may get that bad one, and you don't necessarily need them to know where you're living for the next year. Another thing is, do not lie to these women. They date to marry. Some women are willing to hook up, some women are willing to see each other casually, but do not promise the world to a woman, especially when you bring her to your permanent residence. She could pop up again. If you tell her you're going to marry her, you want to have a baby with her, you want to bring her to America, and then you decide to ghost like we would in America, that probably won't go well on a tourist visa. These women are not American slut girls. These are girls that are religious. Some of them have had 0 to 2 partners. And if you tell them something, you should stand on that. So if you're not ready to commit, or you're just looking for fun or whatever, you might as well be honest. You'll lose most of the girls to that, but it's better to be honest on a tourist visa than, have a problem with a woman in a country that you're a guest in. So Filipinas are the best. I have a great Filipina, but you definitely need to know these kind of rules. Don't bring them straight to your place. Sometimes get a hotel first, depending on your comfort level. If you have a permanent long-term place, if it's an Airbnb, whatever, have your belongings put away and stuff. I'm not saying they're scammers or they're going to rob you, but just protect yourself. If you have a guy over, if you had a guy walk into your apartment, you want to protect yourself. If you're a foreigner and you just brought over $10,000, or you got a Rolex or a couple of iPhones or an iPad, this is a poor country. Don't be stupid. Don't get robbed. Don't lie to women. Meet them in public places. This is basic common knowledge, but maybe common sense isn't that common. And this is different than dating in the West. In the West, it's a hookup culture. Women excuse themselves right away. Filipinas are extremely clingy. When you get one and you like her and she likes you, she will be extremely jealous and clingy. Be ready for that. They're not casually dating you. They don't want to have threesomes. They don't want to be part of a harem. They are clingy and you are theirs, and they will claim you. They will clutch you tightly in public. They will get jealous when you look at other women. They are not looking to share you. This is not a threesome culture. Don't let anyone lie to you. That's the reality of it, is when you have a smoking hot Filipina that's very possessive, it's a good feeling, it's fine, but be prepared. Women in America and Western countries were probably not clinging to you like you were Brad Pitt. A Filipina will, I promise. So just wanted to run that stuff by you guys. I've been here 15 months. I do consultations. Hit my email for that under the About section. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and sana all from Uptown BGC. Bonifacio Global City 2024. Here we come, baby.